I'm excited, artist, for you to join me in the studio today for an exciting new product reveal and pastel painting lesson. Welcome, artists, to Monet Cafe Studio and this pastel painting tutorial featuring a set of pastels that I love. And it goes along with the theme that we have this month called Less Pastels, More Power. We're focusing this month on the fact that you don't have to have every color in the rainbow to paint with pastels, and that should be very encouraging for beginner artists. And this little set of 18 pastels, it's by Earthberry Pastels. You guys probably know, if you've been on my channel long, I love this brand of pastels. I love the story of the company, and I also love the fact that I curated my own set through them when they invited me to make my own set called Fields of Sunshine. And the good thing is my set works really great with this 18 set that's curated by artist Kim Eshelman. Before I dive into the set and how lovely it is, I just have to brag on Kim and her art. She's been a favorite artist of mine, pastel artist, for a long, long time. I'm going to be showing some of her paintings while I talk here. And I think if you haven't heard of her, you'll fall in love with her artwork too. So that was the perfect artist for Earthberry to choose to curate this set. And I really enjoyed working with it. Now I'm also going to be sharing, now this part will be for my Patreon version of this video only, ways that you can stretch a limited set of pastels. For example, if you don't have that many pastels, I have some little tricks that you can do to push that, to make it seem like you have more colors than you really do. So patrons, you're going to be getting that extra goodie content. Now, I have already opened up the set and used these pastels, but I first wanted to brag just on Earthberry's presentation. They do such a great job. By the way, all of their products, their pastels, are non-toxic and earth-friendly. I just love that. You don't have to be worried about using these pastels, but I always love their box covers, and they have such a lovely painting of Kim's on here. It's called The Living Landscape, and boy, is that the perfect name. Look at these gorgeous greens and such other nice little colors. I love this little purple color here. It's just such a nice neutral purple, and that's what you could call Kim's work in general, The Living Landscape. She is just fantastic with her landscape and floral paintings. The other products that you'll see me use in this lesson, besides these pastels, is a product called Derwent Ink Tints Blocks. These are little sticks of compressed ink, actually, and I went ahead and bought the huge one years ago. These last forever, but they have smaller sets, and I'll be using these to do what's called an underpainting. It's going to give me a base of color that's different than what's in the set here and allow me to have more color in my landscape. And I do this with various products. It doesn't even have to be this product alone, but I'm going to be using some warm colors. So these will work great to get me a vibrant base of color before applying the soft pastels. Another product that I will use are markers. Just some grayscale markers. Now, I used a different brand. I think it was some Arteza markers, but it doesn't matter what brand. You just need like 3 different values of markers, a dark, a middle, and a light. And I'm going to show you a trick on how to use markers to get darker values when you may not have them in your pastel collection. So I'm excited to share with you my techniques with these products, and mostly to get to painting with the Living Landscape pastel set. The surface that I'm using is a water-friendly professional soft pastel sanded paper, and it's one that's not available anymore. It's called Fisher 400, but it's literally the same as UArt 400, which is a very popular surface. So just make sure, if you're going to use my techniques on this for the underpainting, to use a water-friendly surface. All right, let me show you these markers. These are Arteza markers. They gifted me a whole big old set, but I think I'm using 4 values. I may end up using only 3, but I want to show you. Here's the box. You do not have to have a box this big. You really only need about 3 markers. And I'm showing you here my little collection of value studies that I often like to do before starting a painting. And then I save them just to inspire me. And I sometimes use them to create new paintings. But I discovered I can use this technique not just as a little study, but to start the painting. And that's what you're going to see me do right now. The slower speeds and full commentary for this sketch portion and underpainting portion are over on my Patreon page. But don't worry, guys, if you're watching on the Monet Cafe channel, I'm going to rush through this. You're going to see the process, and then you're going to get the rest of the video, the full pastel painting tutorial using Kim's gorgeous pastel set. Now, there's plenty more on the way, but if you would like to become a patron of mine and unlock hundreds of lessons and get all the goodies I'm always talking about, you can do that real easily. It's only $5 a month, and this particular month I have a coupon code until May 31st, 2026. I'm offering 60% off the first month. Now, it's already very affordable at $5, so it's only like $3. So it's a pretty affordable way to give it a try. There's the coupon code there. Just go to patreon.com/Susan Jenkins, and I'd love to have you as part of the family. Now, last thing I promise, would you go ahead and like this video? It really helps YouTube to share my video to more artists, and of course, leave me a comment. I love to hear from you, and subscribe by all means if you haven't already. So I'm just showing here how I'm using the markers to get a value study. That's all I'm doing, is getting my values in, because when you have a limited set of pastels, you may not have that many darks, and that really helps with that process. Why am I using markers versus perhaps charcoal pencil? Well, I know I'm going to be adding liquid, water in this case, to this underpainting. And if I use charcoal pencils, they would just dissolve. So I discovered this by accident, was kind of experimenting and playing years ago, that why not use markers? We're just really creating a value study, and it works really great. So now let's move on to the second way and step that you can stretch your colors if you have limited soft pastels, and that's by doing an underpainting. I mentioned earlier, these are called Derwent Inktense blocks. Like I said, they're just compressed ink. They're very bright and vibrant when you add water. And I'm going to choose colors that will complement the landscape, the reference image, and this set of pastels and all these beautiful greens. So I love to have a warm underpainting when I know I've got a landscape that has a lot of green. So I'm choosing some of these beautiful orange reds, and this darker one here is a magenta, and you just apply them and add water. That's it. And it's just a neat way to get color. Now, I'm aware that some of you guys may not have Derwent Inktense blocks laying around, but I mean, they're a great product. But you could do this with watercolor. You could do this, depending on your surface, with thinned down acrylic paint. If you've got a good pastel surface, don't use thick acrylic paint, but you know, you've got options. So if you don't have a lot of pastels, get creative. That's what I always had to do. And now this is where I'm wetting it with the water. And once again, this whole portion here is sped up a lot more than it was on my Patreon version. I didn't really realize this until I liquefied the Inktense blocks, that it really let my marker show through. So I have to do something to fix that. Otherwise, I should have just really given not such scratchy marks for those trees and filled it in fully with the marker. But I have a little fix. You'll see me in just a minute use actually 2 darks from my Fields of Sunshine set just to cover up those scratchy marker marks. So keep that in mind if you're going to try this technique, because it really will work if you don't have dark value pastels. It does dry a little bit lighter, but boy, does it add some vibrant color. So this is a great way to stretch that color if you only have limited pastels. So here is where I'm using that dark purple that's from my set, and I'm just kind of scumbling over that dark area. I made some of the trees a little bigger, and I decided to go ahead and darken the foreground a little bit. And I used this second dark. Those are the only 2 ones I used to get in a little bit more value. All right, now I'm using that beautiful purple I told you about from Kim's set. It was perfect for getting distant trees and also for clouds. You know how you have that dark area underneath clouds? And by the way, yes, this is sped up a bit. The Patreon version is real time here. There's only a little speed version at the end, but you can still learn from this. Now look at this gorgeous green from her set. I love it. It's perfect for those middle value grasses and greens. And look, can you see the underpainting? You just gave yourself so much more color, even though you may not have had those colors in pastels, by adding that warm underpainting. Now look at this green. Now that's a warmer green. That one's gorgeous. This is an ochre, a little bit golden color. I absolutely love it. It was perfect for capturing some of the sunshine. And I had kind of a goal to use almost every color in her set. Look at that bright yellow there. So I kind of went crazy with color, and I was having fun too. But here you can see just how that underpainting really peeks through. And if I wasn't playing with these pastels so much, I might have let a little bit more of the underpainting peek peek through. Look at that pink. It's a gorgeous middle value pink. Just added some fun. And this bright green, now that is perfect for capturing sunlight in very distant fields. This is a beautiful pale neutral. I love the fact that it's not white. I can't say never, but I hardly ever use white in a painting, and I love that color. This is a perfect little taupey neutral. I'm always looking for nice neutrals in a pastel set, and I was so glad to see that Kim included that. I did blend the clouds a little bit with my finger there. Now, I wanted to use this gorgeous blue. Now, this blue would also be really great for distant trees, for mountains, for clouds if it's a little darker in the sky, and just beautiful for those cool shadows. So I'm just using the simple rules of color temperature when it comes to perspective and value. And that's two of the most important rules with painting, any kind of painting, really, a landscape painting. So I added a little more pink. Oh, look at that green. Oh, it's just such a nice little neutral middle value green. This is a lighter pink, a little bit neutral. Excellent for skies. And look at this pretty little yellow. It's a little darker. That might have been the first one that I used. I can't remember. Look how gorgeous though. And with my clouds, I kind of start really loosely with clouds and I let them find themselves. As I paint, I start painting negatively like you can see here, and I start finding where my cloud shapes would look good. You're going to see me do that in just a second. I've got an area in between my dark trees that got a little muddled. I'm going to define that area a little more, carving the sky into the trees, creating a little bit more dimension. Again, this is just negative painting, often called sky holes, because you're painting the sky into the trees. Do you see how that blob of trees just took shape just by carving in some negative shapes in between? And added a more pink to the landscape. And now I'm looking at the set here. You can sort of see, I've used a lot of these pastels. I have them turned up on the side, the whole top row, most of the second row. Now I want to reestablish that pretty yellowy green. I kind of lost that brightness a little bit, and a little bit of that other pretty green right there. Almost all of this pastel portion of this tutorial for the Patreon version is real time, except I'm speeding it up here at the end because you're just kind of watching some of my fun final marks and playing. Oh, look at that yellow. You see how I'm carving into the clouds now? And it's just really fun. Now, this is the point where I did add a couple of other colors from my Fields of Sunshine set. My trees in the foreground felt a little dark, and I didn't quite have the right value in Kim's set to lighten them up a little bit. Everything was a little too light. That's from Kim's set, that blue right there, and that was perfect for some of those shadowy areas. As I add a few finishing marks here, I just wanted to share that another benefit of working from a limited palette is it just forces you to use colors in areas that you might not normally try. I mean, we get in a habit or pattern of the colors that we choose, and it's kind of hard to break out of that. So when you try painting with a small set of pastels, I know I added a few other colors here, but mostly Kim's pastels, and it was really just like a color adventure. Oh, and I meant to mention, I have to thank Kim for gifting me this set. She got this set to me, and I told her that I definitely wanted to do this product review. So I hope you guys learned a lot, but also I will have the link to Kim's set in the description of this video or post, along with a coupon code. So be sure to check that out. And as always, God bless and happy painting.